Hey guys, it's Lee here on Andertons TV at NAMM 2020. Pete's here as well, and Kenny from Vox. Now, going to look at some new products, the first of which is called the Vox Cambridge. It's a new 50-watt little guitar amplifier from Vox, kind of like an upgraded version of a VT or VTX amp, but now using Nutube. So we've shown those on the channel before, a little kind of alternative to a tube, built into the preamp, and now Celestion loaded as well. So Kenny,
yes,
give us some lowdown.
Yeah, so it's okay. So it's got a Nutube technology in here, so it really does feel like you're playing through a tube amp. And this Nutube technology, not like a real tube, or a real tube, like an old school tube, it will outlive us. Let's just say that it lasts about over 100 years probably at the end. And it's got solid state power output and all these different models, up to 11 different models of clean tone boutique overdrives, Vox sounds to some American Marshall style distortion to some full on metal sound in there. And the layout is super simple. It's got power scaling and different types of modulation and reverb and delay. As you can see right there, tap tempo. There's a tuner if you want to use that. Yep. And also, and then really simple faceplate of volume, gain, treble, and bass. So it's really easy to use. So, and then you could rehearse this. You could outpower any loud drummer out there, or you could use it as guitar lessons, because you could power scale it down to like 1 watt if you want to. If you want to take it over to lessons, and after that, go to a gig, take the same amp. So it's really cool to have just one amp and all that stuff.
Give us some, you got some great tones just before we started rolling, so let's have a little listen.
Yeah, so pretty much like a Marshall sort of thing, and really juicy, just. But I'm turning down on my volume on the neck pickup, and so really react and responsive too. So I'm just flipping a switch on the guitar. So really cool and react and responsive too. I'm gonna go some different like clean amp too. I'm gonna go deluxe clean. So I'm gonna scoop the mid-range a little bit and kind of get that Fender-y sort of sound. Let's get to that. And you can switch over to the rock and roll really quick. So you could, there's up to 2 banks, and then there's 4 channels, so you can switch presets to 4 channels.
And it comes with a foot switch?
Yes,
yeah,
it does.
It comes with a foot switch.
It really does have a lot of different tonal possibilities.
Speaking of Nutube, there's a bunch of other products that
Yes,
you've launched.
Absolutely.
Should we wander over here?
Yes, we do that.
We've just jumped over now to these new pedals, Valve Energy. And we're plugged now into a little Vox AC10,
Yep.
so a different guitar amp to what you were just hearing. So take us through what we got here.
Absolutely. So there's 4 models: the Silk Drive, Mystic Edge, the Copperhead Drive, and the Cutting Edge, which is basically 4 iconic sounds through any music history in general in rock and roll. So the Silk Drive is that boutique, I don't want to say the D word, but it's that boutique sounding clean. The Mystic Edge is more like a Vox AC30, so it's kind of ironic that we're playing into an AC10, but if you would want to, you get a crunched out Vox AC30 tone. The Copperhead is more of that modern rock tone, and the Cutting Edge is more like that full-on metal sound.
You've got these sort of mounted into a case here. What,
Yes.
what kind of depth are the pedals if they weren't in the case?
Do you have the pedals by itself?
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah.
So you can kind of get an idea. They're pretty much just regular size and depth, which is cool.
So this is like direct pedal, and then
Yeah,
right.
Like standard preamp, capsule, and then the channel jumps.
Right.
Let me put this down a sec. In fact, shall I give you that one back? So, okay, so it's cool to see one, and you were just talking with your colleague about the switching on the back. So what do we got here?
And this, you could use this as more of a preamp if you want to, or it has a cap sim. So you could go straight into the power section of the amp and use this more of like a preamp section, or you could put this directly into the PA or give it into as the sound man, and you hear yourself through the PA and or in-ears monitors.
And that's on all 4 of these.
Yes, and also it's got an 1/8" cable right here. So if you connect this to any of these pedals, it becomes like a channel switching amp. So if you step on this, it turns off the other pedal, and so on and so forth. So it becomes like a channel switching amp. It's really cool, and it's got the same thing. You can plug this and feed that through the PA or the preamp section or the power section of the amp, and all of a sudden you're turning your amp into either like this D-style clean amp to some Vox AC30.
Well, let's have a listen, but just before we do, what's the significance of is that just a visual thing?
It just looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
looks
so.
cool.
Nothing wrong with
Fair
that.
enough, that's nothing
It
wrong
makes
with
me
that.
want to buy one just because of that.
Okay, well, let's put a mic in front of this amplifier and then give us some tones.
So this is clean all the way on the AC10, just flat EQ, or everything is a noon EQ-wise. Kind of brings out the highs a little bit juicy.
Just play that run again without it. That's it, yeah, just adding a little bit of extra presence, isn't it, really? Is it much of a gain boost or not? Is it more of a clean pedal?
Yeah, I would use it more of a clean pedal personally, but I guess you could get a little bit in the crunchier side, so to speak, but I wouldn't use it for that, honestly.
Okay.
I would use the Mystic Edge for like a crunchier tone, which,
Let's do that.
speaking of that. Mid, just juicy tone from that. And then the copper head drive. So you can hear that when you chug on it, you really feel that low end to just push some air, even on an AC10. And then the cutting edge is like full on like. Versatile.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you very much for
Absolutely.
that. And
My
we've
pleasure.
enjoyed our little stop via Vox.
Thank you
Hope
so
2020 is a good year for you. Cheers, Kenny.
Thank you.
Nice playing, man.
Thank you.
Nice playing.
Thank you.
Perfect.